Hello everyone, my name is Awot, and recently we got another patch of Age of Mythology. I really appreciate these patches they're doing. They fix so many bugs of each one. I feel like they've been going really hard at it ever since they dropped the Aztec DLC. Like we've been getting a pretty significant change each 2 weeks for the past few weeks, with the longest gap between updates I think is exactly 3 weeks. I'm going to call this the post-Aztec era. So obviously we had the moment where we got the Aztec DLC, then the next updates after that were ironing out the kinks of the Aztec DLC. And after that, we've started to get these general maintenance and overall patches, and I've really been appreciating them. They fixed so many ancient bugs that have been in the game. They fixed the notorious attack move bug that's been broken in the game since launch. I talked about this in a video where I fought both an Extreme and Tinebot alone that I thought Huskarls were more valuable, not that they actually listen to your commands. I'm sure this applies to other specific human soldier units too, such as the Atlantean Destroyer, maybe the Coyote Warriors, those kind of units that kind of suck when they're not attacking specifically what they were meant to counter. They finally added the ability to go beyond 144 frames per second. That was a huge one. And all these core performances are free. And then they fixed the 6-7 chicken bug that had been in the game for over a year now that I also made a video on. You know, seeing that fix was bittersweet because, obviously it's quite unnatural for a map to have that much food at the beginning. But at the same time, it was so funny and had been around so long, it just felt like part of the game at that point. But yeah, it just feels like they've been doing a really fantastic job of cleaning up the game now that they weren't focused on making new content. And honestly, I think they deserve a little bit of love for it. I think a lot of these patches have been really good for the game's overall health, especially for the players. I know a lot of the community is just people who want new content, but the infrastructure of the game for the people who play it have been improved a lot just these past few months alone. At least that's what I feel like. Maybe I'm wrong. Feel free to dispute me. Oh yeah, and I am quite late to talk about this. I know the patch came out a few days ago, but unfortunately I've been really busy this week, which I mentioned in the last video where I had to upload it early because I knew I was going to be busy. Alongside being busy, I've also broken my personal record for most rejection emails in 1 week. So as many of you know, I talk about it on the channel a lot, and I've been looking for a job. And so this week I applied to a bunch, and I broke my record for most rejection emails, sadly. I feel like most of them were automated, but I think it counts. And yeah, so been bummed out about that and took a day off just to relax a little bit since I've been a little bit on edge trying to find work. But that's enough that I'm sure most of you guys don't care, and you guys are here for Age of Mythology. Anyway, I will now talk about that patch that was super late to talk about. So first off, they finally fixed this ancient bug that had been bugging me. So when Immortal Pillars came out, I noticed that the animals for the Immortal Pillars, for some reason, they were hard-coded to be immune to colorblind settings. So in case you guys didn't know, you can change the color of the nature team, and that will change the color of the animals on the map, the mini-map to be precise. So let's say you struggle to see the brown reddish nature color on dirt maps, like the new Aztec ones, you can change the nature color to white in your custom settings. Completely vanilla, very easy. They built it into the game. I absolutely love this feature. And when you change it to white, it just makes it so visible you can easily see where the animals are now. And I have been using that to help me play the game. But unfortunately, animals of the Immortal Pillars DLC were just immune to this for some reason. They were hard-coded to stay the reddish brown that you were used to with default settings. So I have some examples right here. This is from my bug report over a year ago now. That's right, this bug has been in the game since March of, and they're just now fixing it June 2026, but I'm so appreciative that they did fix it finally. But yeah, you can see on maps like Bamboo Grove where there were normal animals like the normal deer and Immortal Pillars animals like the spotted deer mixed together, you could see that the Immortal Pillar ones were brown dots while the natural animals were white dots, the color I had set the nature team to. And it just looked really bad and weird. In this case where you have both the white and the brown dots contrasting, it's obvious that the food's there. But on a different map like Silk Road, where there's nearly exclusively Immortal Pillar animals, then this becomes difficult to see. Especially Silk Road. That was a map of a already darker background, so having dark nature team was pretty difficult. But yeah, they finally fixed it, and I'm just so happy they finally did. You can see I had been going on and on about this. I'm going to show the full thread of the bug report on the screen. But I was persistent. I would bump the bug report each few months up until the patch was fixed. So I'm glad it's finally fixed. It was pretty important to me, and I know I had a lot of friends who had trouble seeing. And then they fixed a very annoying bug where you use the hotkey for your towers as the Chinese or Aztec civilizations because of either the wood catapult or the guard machine workshop. You wouldn't be able to buy tower upgrades using the tower hotkey. Finally fixed that. Love that. See, these are all like fundamental fixes to the game. I know this specific example only applies to issues with DLC civilizations, but the other fundamental changes have been issues that the fixes for these issues will improve the gameplay for even standard edition players. And they've been focusing on entirely this for free, even though they could leave the game in a buggy state and continue pushing out more content like the people have been asking for, since that would net them more money. I really like this cooldown phase where we're just sitting down and improving the game fundamentally for all the people who play it regularly. Because, I have 2,000 hours in the game. Most of them, yeah, I gotta admit, there has been quite a few bugs along the way. But yeah, I just want to talk about how much I appreciate them fixing the bugs. There was a lot more important ones in the list, but that's just a favorite few of mine. Just try and read it and find your own favorite few when you get a chance, because this is proof that the game is being worked on. That being said, I did see a lot of rumors floating around as of late about a fourth Egyptian being revealed soon in like the subreddit and the forums. I really don't know where those rumors come from, but I do hope there is a fourth Egyptian character. I'm not sure these rumors have any relation to any release of a character. Like if it does come out, I think it might be just a coincidence. But in case you guys didn't know, I do make custom maps for the game in my modding series where I develop a mod for the game. And I do have maps that change based on what character or pantheon you're playing. So for example, on Awot Split, each person gets a different chunk of their native nation's biome, but they will get unique forests based on their character. And I did actually program the game to make a secret unique forest if they do add a fourth Egyptian character. I think it's marsh and oak trees, or maybe it's marsh and palm. I forgot honestly. And this applies to Awot Select too, where the entirety of the map changes based on who's in the player 2 slot. There's a unique look for each Egyptian. I'll be showing them on screen. But there is also, of course, a secret look for if they add a fourth Egyptian I already planned. Now, I did not plan for a fourth Atlantean or anything else, though, so if we cross that bridge, I'll update the maps accordingly. Speaking of updating the maps, I did consider updating the maps to disable some world twists. Now that they finally add world twists to custom maps, you could just enable them in your settings. And yeah, I am able to control what world twists appear by changing the XML file, but nah, I'm just gonna leave it for now. Let me know you guys just absolutely hate certain world twists and want me to disable it. Nice to see them adding more single player content since a lot of us are not competitive players or don't like to play 1v1 or just want that experience. Yeah, actually, there has yet to be any application of world twists and PvP settings, so it's actually kind of interesting to see. Maybe at the Athens Gameathon tournament, they could do a losers match where they have blessings, world twists, and chaos events enabled. Just like how the previously officially endorsed tournament, there was a free for all with all the pro players after the tournament concluded. I'd like to see something like that, but with the world twists and whatnot. Speaking of, I was going to try and collect gameplay of me playing with the world twists online on my custom maps, since that was a thing a lot of people had previously asked me, like, hey, how do I turn on world twists on your custom maps? And I was all like, oh, there's no way at the moment, but now there is a way. You just go in settings and change it. And I was going to try and get gameplay online, but it only lasted one match before people said, nah, I'm out, which I don't blame them. The twists are not for all players. But yeah, that ship sunk. Surprisingly, we had more fun playing with goofy settings on Tiny. But the option is there for you guys who want to play with world twists on my maps now, finally. And the Obsidian Mirror maps too, but actually, because if I'm not mistaken, I still think they're not in the Gauntlet pool yet. I think it's missing Obsidian Mirror legends and maps and characters from appearing, and then it's missing Atlantean legends. Oh, I think it's missing Japanese legends too. But yeah, it's just a random talking video. I'm not even sure what the title is going to be. I just wanted to say I appreciate the game. Been bummed out recently, so sorry I'm less enthusiastic in this video. It's a little less cohesive. Wanted to show you that World Twist was on the custom maps for those of you who asked. If you're new, I did make custom maps for this game that you could download for free in the in-game mod browser. Just go here, type this, click download. Pretty sure it's safe. I'm the one who made it. But yeah, that's it. I don't got much. I just wanted to talk about the patch, even though I'm a few days late. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.